Okay, so I'm sure some of you guys have heard about this, but for the last third of the 2019-2020 school year, we didn't really have school. I didn't really mind the whole online thing. I enjoyed getting up, doing my work, and then having nothing to do from like 1 p.m. on for the rest of the day. I was mainly upset because I'm in concert band and we had a trip to Spain planned that everyone had been hyping up for the last year and a half, and people were banned from travel 2 days before we left. And even while it wouldn't have really been safe to go, it was rather crushing that we couldn't. Though a few people had already independently pulled out of going to the trip, but most of us had already packed and everything. So that was the first letdown of the pandemic for me personally. But that's not what this video is about, that's just me complaining. Online learning started a week after spring break was supposed to end and when everyone was dished out their Chromebooks from school. And because my family was trying to be nice, we only got 2 to share between us 3 kids. This was our first mistake. For the first few days, my siblings used the Chromebooks to do their work before me, which was okay, but by the time that I had them, they were always on low battery and I had to find a place to sit with a charger next to it. Generally, these were places where they were already sitting, and trying to complete an Edpuzzle video in the same general vicinity of your sister, sitting judgingly in the corner watching YouTube, isn't the most fun. Good morning. What? So, what I ended up doing was stealing a Chromebook and its charger and hiding them both away in my room so that no one else could take them when I was still asleep in the morning, and I had dibs on it for when I woke up. Eventually, we got another Chromebook, but mine stayed in my room until we had to return them to the school. At first, we didn't think we'd be spending that much time doing e-learning. Before spring break, teachers seemed pretty evenly split on the subject, and on the last day, in history, we had a class potluck where everyone brought in snacks or drinks, and we all were somewhat cautiously getting the food everyone had already put their grubby teenage hands on before us. But we didn't really think that there was much wrong with what we were doing. So, when we first got the Chromebooks, most of us high school kiddies thought that the entire last trimester wasn't going to be online, and that we'd come back eventually. Nope. I was lucky enough to have mostly good teachers who made sure they gave out announcements and assignments daily and kept me busy during the morning. But the thing I was most stressed out about was the fact that I had signed up to take 3 AP tests and I had no clue what was going to happen to them because of e-learning. For all of you who don't know, AP classes are advanced placement classes that allow you to take an exam at the end of the year, and if you do good, you can get college credit. I was taking AP Language and Composition, AP World History, and AP Biology. I had already completed the 2 trimesters of AP Lang, so thankfully I didn't have to write weekly essays for my teacher to try and decipher pictures of. And my AP World teacher was chill and had weekly review sessions and assignments for us to keep our memory sharp on past units. So I didn't really have an issue with her. The real problem came with AP Bio. So, my AP Bio teacher had a bad rep in the school. There were 2 AP Bio teachers, and I had the one who went to college to be a fitness trainer. For the most part, before e-learning, she just went over the notes with us and then expected us to study by ourselves. This did not change much with the switch to e-learning. For a while, this was okay because everyone was frantic and didn't know what the AP exams were going to look like. And even though she wasn't there to tell us repeatedly to read the textbook or do our work, I was pretty good at it. But then the announcements for what was going to happen to the AP test came out, and we learned everything that was going to be covered on the exams were things we'd already covered in school. My AP World teacher started giving us cheat sheets to print out and study about essay formatting and unit summaries. The AP Lang teachers created a Google Classroom for people to be able to write essays and then get them looked over by teachers because we hadn't written any graded rhetorical essays since we'd been in school. I didn't do these because I did not need to waste any more 45-minute blocks of my life writing, while I had to deal with AP Bio and my 3 other non-AP classes. In AP Bio, we continued on to the units that were not going to be on the test. We did assignments that took so much time and reading for, how I saw it, no point. I was trying my hardest to go back and study macromolecules and central dogma and aquaporins and stuff, but I really wasn't able to push myself to do it after being completely drained after writing about butterfly wings for 2 hours. A week before the new online 1 hour worth of essays format of the AP exams were going to be bestowed upon us nerds who had paid $60 to suffer willingly, my teacher must have gotten some sense knocked into her as she canceled all the next assignments. Just kidding. She changed the due date of our next assignment to a week after the tests. Haha, you get no rest. I was still putting off studying AP Bio for some reason, probably because I didn't know how to study. I tried to put all my notes in order in my binder, but my binder then got too big to look through comfortably. So, for the 2 days before the AP Bio test, armed with nothing but Snapchat, my pet turtle, and my newly discovered band Panic at the Disco to combat against boredom, I wrote around 50 pages of Google Docs notes from my written ones, and my note partner created a Google Doc full of biology diagrams, and we created copies of them and sent them to each other, so we could prove that we weren't cheating just in case, because even though the test was open, note, going on Google Docs and using Control F to find words still kind of felt like cheating. This actually worked out pretty nice, and while everyone was getting logged into the AP Biology exams, we wished each other good luck, and then, Corn, just so you know, you've got to write a passage before you take the test. Wait, what? Oh no. It was like a CAPTCHA to make sure that we could use all of our keys on our keyboard, even though I had opted to write my answers by hand and didn't want to type them. And it had a set number of characters that you could use to write the specific phrase. So I typed the phrase. Hey, this doesn't work! I frantically called for my brother because he'd taken the AP US History exam the week before, because for some reason I thought that it would help. He just told me to rewrite it. So I did. It's still not working! The timer on the bottom left of my screen may have made me a bit frantic because I had to write the phrase about 3 more times before I was able to get it right. And then I was finally ready to test. The test went pretty well. I did freak out a couple of times trying to refresh my computer to send pictures of my essays I had taken on my phone to my Chromebook, but they all got uploaded in the end. The issue is, in the time up to and right after the AP exams, I kind of lost my motivation for other classes, especially band. Now, online French was okay. Online math was just as I expected. But online honors band was an experience. I joined band for the people and the playing. I was second chair clarinet, which is pretty good because the first chair was a 2-time all-state winner who'd been playing since the clarinet was as tall as she was. Online band was a bit of a letdown. We played maybe a handful of etudes, had one solo where the teacher had apparently thought I was a senior. But other than that, we mainly just had to write and read about harmonics and John Williams and the Blue Man Group, and while they weren't boring, I'm not taking AP Music Theory until my senior year, so cool it on the chord structures. To be honest, I actually wrote a lot for these assignments, so when I checked my gradebook and saw that every one of these assignments was getting no more than a 95%, I got pretty heated. For the first time, I barely passed band with an A, and I swear it was just because we weren't playing. I'm a good student. I'm a pretty okay clarinet. Well, I was doing my best to try and get everything done in time. Most of my friends were slacking. So much so that the school decided to take Wednesdays off for kids to catch up on work. I used these days to do extra credit for AP Bio and attempt to bring up my grade, and mope in an existential crisis fueled by loneliness. I didn't mind the Wednesday change, except for that it made it so I had to do homework for math every school day instead of every other day like they'd been doing before. So, thanks a lot. You know who you are. Honestly, e-learning wasn't that bad. Though, I feel like in-school learning is definitely better. I wouldn't really have minded it if I was allowed to go out and hang out with friends. But unfortunately, I wasn't, so it sucked. It probably would have sucked more if I was a senior, but since it was my junior year, I didn't miss my graduation ceremony, last prom, and final goodbye to my school, teachers, and friends. But then again, the status of my senior year is still up for debate, so we'll see. A lot of my friends, like my first and third chair clarinetists in band, did have their senior year taken away from them, and it was really sad, and I'm sorry to the class of 2020. But hey, at least I don't have to play Pomp and Circumstance for an hour and a half again while every single senior walks across the football field during graduation.